It got
As it should be.
it got a good laugh out of me. It went on for like a solid 5 minutes too, where he just couldn't get any discussion from the chat going because chat was just wogging.
I mean, as it should be. Just as listen. Sadly, we can't wog in real life. So
Yeah.
wog in chat all you want,
We can't
but keep it
log
in the chat.
in real life.
Don't
Yeah.
don't fucking go to somebody else's
No,
stream
hold on.
screaming
I think we've
wog.
covered this story before.
We're getting a lot of that lately, you senile old bastard.
I think it's because I'm seeing. Oh no. No. Yes. Yes, we've covered this story before.
Sure.
Boone!
Yes.
Boone! Where are you, Boone? I promise I'll shoot your wife!
Yes. Okay. So that kills that one. So let's start off the night with.
This kills the fanfiction story.
We haven't done a really cringy one in a while, so let's start off the night with this one. Alright. Hello, Internet, this is Sneaky Devil once more with more garbage-ass fanfiction for you to devour and learn from. Because we are an educational podcast.
Yeah.
That is debatable.
We're educating my liver on how to drink more alcohol.
It's possible. It's possible. So anyway, as I was saying...
Speaking of...
this is an educational podcast, and it's Fanfiction Contempt Theater 9004. If I haven't mentioned that already. Because we're now on...
Forgot we pretend to be educational.
Yeah, well, of course we're educational, and that's the only way we'll ever get viewed. Because we don't have any humor in this podcast, so we're never going to be comedy.
It's true.
That depends on what the material we're given.
I suppose so.
And what's legally allowed on this platform.
Also true. Also big true. Alright, so let's get started, gentlemen. So, of course, I have a little Twitch side predictions meter going. Unfortunately, Arn is the only one who has voted in it so far.
Yep.
People just don't show up these days. It's really disappointing. It's almost like they don't want to torture themselves twice a week.
Yeah, I would say it's almost like our entire show is suffering, and if we wanted to get people here, we would need to have a show that wasn't suffering.
You say that, yet people still watched Game of Thrones.
Yes, but Sneaky, Game of Thrones had something very crucial that we don't.
Brand name?
Titties.
Tits, yeah.
Okay, fair. I see. I raise you with Star Wars sequels. People went and saw those.
Yeah, well, the difference is, Sneaky, Star Wars is a fairly big name, you know?
Yeah,
fairly
And it was
well-known
hated as
series.
shit.
It was hated as shit, that's not the point, though.
Yeah.
The point is, we aren't Star Wars.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I feel like we could do better than Star Wars right now. They really
yes.
set a low bar. I'm pretty sure I could shit onto a page and produce a more coherent and enjoyable plot than what we got.
Oh,
Undoubtedly.
definitely. I'm still pissed about that.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is a prototype Ruby crossover called John the Evolved.
Of course.
Volume 1.
Volume 1.
Oh boy.
Episode 1.
And this is to my increasing chances of liver failure. Cheers.
Indeed.
Cheers, bro. Drink to that.
An arc obtains a semblance to manipulate time and space, ushering dimensions through rifts in one place. Alex meets John, who learns about his sadistic dines. I'm sure with both powers, he'll work out his heroic dream just fine. John times harem, the entire fucking summary rhyme.
I mean, listen, it's worth putting them to death just for that.
Yeah,
there's a lot
it's
of
true.
reasons
You
to
know,
put them to death.
get credit where credit's due. Fair enough, author. Now turn around, face the wall.
Yeah, that's an interesting argument. However, due to personal reasons, you will be passing away.
You make a compelling argument, but I still have to kill you.
I always prefer due to environmental reasons you'll be passing away.
Yeah, I mean, I'm referring to a GIF. Hang on, yeah, there you go.
I know what GIF you're referring to. I'm just saying your diet will be noticing a direct increase in lead intake.
That is fair, yeah.
This diet change will be immediate.
Yeah, as your stand-in doctor, I have prescribed you a lead pill, effective immediately.
Turn around and face the wall.
Yep, you know.
Oh man.
Turn around.
It won't. Dude, what? Oh god, are you really gonna rhyme all of this, author?
At least,
I mean, I'll give him some credit for the gumption.
There
Not the
was
whole
once
story.
Yoth who met aged who could go on to ageless and surpass being man. Who, the aged or the Yoth?
if that's Yoth.
Yes, the Yoth. We must protect the Yoth.
Yoth.
What? No, I'm confused about the structure of the sentence. There was once Yoth
Yeah.
who met aged who could go on to ageless and surpass being man. Are they saying the aged can go on to being ageless, or the Yoth can go on to being ageless?
Why are you saying Yoth?
That's what it says. It says Yoth.
Sneaky.
I wish to God he was wrong, Max.
I mean, in the context of the next sentence, it's more likely that age could go on to be ageless.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's
But
going on there.
to be honest,
I'm sorry. Do you guys actually not know how to pronounce youth?
No, I do.
I just
it's
assume
trying to be
Sneaky's an
funny.
idiot, and I will never be able to convince him to pronounce words properly. So
Then
I don't argue
speak up in
anymore.
then don't speak up in his defense at and saying that's what's written, because now you're as stupid as he is. Congratulations, you're on his level now.
Look, I'll
I
just
can no longer
pronounce it the
trust you with basic
Chicago way.
English.
Okay, look, I'll just pronounce it the Chicago way. Youth.
Youth.
What? The fuck?
Youth.
Okay.
We can
That's
breathe.
certainly
Youth.
a new pronunciation.
Youth.
Youth.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
It's fucking Tuesday.
It's fucking Tuesday, isn't it?
Of course, if Yoth
Why
would...
do you? Okay, now that you finally got that out of your system, why do you think we have like British fucking accents?
kind of do a little bit.
Nah.
Smidge.
Listen, the emphasis goes on C's, not U's. What do you think we are? Fucking Boston?
Okay, you know what? That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Like,
Hello.
listen. Make fun of that exaggerated ass C all you want. God knows I do because I'm lucky enough not to have that accent.
Yes. Now, youth become Gruth. How would the...
God damn it. Growth.
Oh.
This hurts my soul to listen to.
God.
It hurts a lot of people's souls.
How would the outcome be altered? Will it certainly be possible to overcome the wiser one, or will it just be another bitter defeat? Okay, so there is being cryptic, and then there's being un-fucking-telligible. This
Yeah.
There is a
being-
fine line.
Not
And this
really.
author is about 5
No,
miles
yeah,
on the wrong side.
Maybe there was a fine line, Max, but the author passed that line like 2 miles back.
Oh, I wasn't saying
Yeah.
the author was treading that fine line. I'm just saying there is
Oh.
a fine line.
Yeah.
He's nowhere near it,
No.
but it's there. As
Sure,
you said, it's
yeah.
at least 2 miles back.
Yeah. No difference between worlds is the name of this chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Alex
Right, yeah,
Mercer was at the verge of defeat. His arms removed. His powers corroding down. I'm fairly certain that's not how that works, but whatever. He had nearly nothing left with his knees to the ground. Plan A didn't go well. It never went well. It was a good thing. I got Plan B. Wait, what? Who has Plan B?
He's got the abortion pills ready, Sneaky. Don't worry.
I know, but who's Plan? Wait, who's this perspective from?
He went straight to first person.
All right.
It's like,
Yeah. He's the end of the sentence. Thought Mercer. So this is a thought, except it's not marked as dialogue or internal
thought.
dialogue in any way.
Yeah, it's not marked as anything.
Yeah.
Going for that really archaic English before they figured out how important it was to differentiate that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was reading a story last night where I was like, it was like not bad. It wasn't like, it was like a 5 out of 10. It was like, all right, this exists. But the author was just horrible with punctuation. Absolutely horrendous with punctuation. Specifically with dialogue. He would put periods outside of the dialogue brackets.
Oh God.
Ooh.
And then if there was like dialogue and then narrative and then more dialogue, he wouldn't put any punctuation at all.
I see.
Yep. That's cool. Face the wall.
Yeah, I mean, I left a review saying your story is passing at best, but whoever taught you your spag should be shot. I think I specifically said not shot. I think I specifically said should turn around and face the wall.
My
course you
trusty
did.
Luger.
I made a cursed one.
I got Plan B. Even Heller would inevitably agree with me on this, thought Mercer. What? We're moving past the fact that he didn't mark this off. I'm just still confused as to why Heller would suddenly agree with his Plan B. Right,
Because the author
in
needs
front
him
of
to.
Right in front of him, James Heller, who had his claws exposed for the last time. For the last time? Wait, what? Right in front of him, James Heller, who so no grammar here either. So anyway, who had his claws exposed for the last draw between superior species.
I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I understand what the author's trying to say, and he's trying to describe a scene where James is ripped off both of Alex's arms and has his claws out, so ready to kill Alex. But I'm just really confused about how he's phrasing all of this. Exposed for the last draw between superior species. They're both blacklight. They're not they're not separate species. B, they're not a species. C, what are they superior to? In superior to between each other? Superior to humans? Like, what? Demons and gods. What?
This person.
What?
Is this person an English speaker naturally or no?
I don't think it matters at this point. I'm not really sure where demons and gods have anything to do with fucking Prototype. Alex chuckled as he was grabbed by the neck. Welcome to the top of the food chain. Okay? With eyes of hatred and rage, the sour and bitterness in his mouth gurgled into might. For
What?
his
Oh, Mouser.
shanks.
I'm sorry.
Wait.
What?
The sour and bitterness in his mouth gurgled into might for his shanks.
Excuse me, what? Also, I did not realize this thing was loaded. Fuck.
What?
I just spilled my mouse off the wall. So it's loaded. Uh-oh.
You poor fool.
Yeah.
Was this actually
Just
going to be the
airsoft.
stream where we would see Remy shoot himself live?
Nah. First of all, airsoft. Second of all, pointed at the
Damn.
roof. So, yeah.
You're going to shoot a bird?
I mean, if there are any birds, like, in my room currently, sure. Hang on, are there any insects here?
Go find them then.
Get that salt shotgun ready.
I'm baffled.
Ah, can't see any. Hang on. Fucking Christ. Okay. So this thing hasn't worked for a while, for some reason. But
And-
now apparently it does.
Now it's just magically working.
Yeah.
So
I tried like a
that is
month or two back.
literally a Hollywood scenario / anime trope of, oh, don't worry, that thing hasn't worked for a while. Pulls trigger, gun fires. It does now.
Maybe he's been
Yeah.
hanging around Americans enough.
Yeah, but
It
He's
reabsorbed
inheriting the
en-
spirit of the tech gremlins.
it reabsorbed enough gun energy to work again.
okay, hang on, there we go. Now it's dry, I think. Gas powered. So never mind. It's not dry.
Gunshot. Think it's dry now. Gunshot. Oh no, it wasn't.
Right. Yeah. Alright, interesting. That's all 5 shots. So I think I need to relearn how to load this thing, because that might be the issue. Because it has like actual shells you put the bullets into.
Oh wow,
Yeah, it's a shell ejecting.
that's creative, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, realistic. Because you get the authentic Mouser experience.
The authentic Mauser experience of it jamming for half the time and you not being able to use it for months.
Well, I it's more like, shell ejecting bolt action rifle, but yeah, I guess.
Best in the world.
I think it's more on my end. The issue is.
So you're saying it's a user error? The pistol's perfect.
Yeah.
It's just the user's retarded.
Oh, this isn't a pistol, this is a rifle. Car 98.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then yeah, it's definitely user error.
Yeah, I mean, as they say in Russia, a rifle is fine.
Rifle is fine.
Okay, well, hold
Every
on.
rifle gets 4 men.
The Mosin Nagant was actually an excellent rifle.
Yeah, I mean, sure. The issue is more, it was produced, first invented in, was it 1891?
Yeah. What's wrong
Yeah.
with that?
Bit outdated.
Well, so is the 357 round, but we've been using that since like 1820.
I mean, sure. Yeah.
If it works.
If it works, it works.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we
Yeah.
even based the Springfield off of it. The Mawson.
Maybe. I don't know.
Anyway, so now that we've covered James's lust for his shanks, what the fuck? James consumed every part that was left of Alex, grunting and growling. Wait, was James grunting and growling, or was Alex's parts grunting and growling?
I think it's the former.
The pain, the tearing of muscles. I mean, they don't have muscles. so.
Yeah, sneaky correction.
Yeah.
the Springfield was based on the Mauser M1893.
No. Okay.
So, yeah, like Spanish Mauser.
Yeah.
Called. Yeah.
Let's see. Blah blah blah. Alex was engulfed in loss, humiliation, and defeat. But even with everything he worked on, everything he earned, his pride spoke in the midst of Heller's vengeance. I was never wrong to begin with. However, Heller made a mistake to sever Alex's arms, as when he experienced Mercer's memories of his argument with Donna, the severed Alex arms rolled and fell off the building and onto the tendrils it was stuck onto, forming a body with a jacket. What? Why is that supposed to be dramatic? It formed a body. Dun, 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 with a jacket.
My God. He got drip.
Someone misspelled Tom Riddle for Tim Riddle, and it has made me thinking how interesting it would be if Voldemort created Cerberus-like organization against the Ministry of Magic as opposed to a cult. Well, that would imply that Voldemort would have to be intelligent, which he can never be. Because if Voldemort was intelligent, then literally none of anything would have ever happened the way it did.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
The whole plot of Harry Potter requires everyone to be stupid.
Yeah, like 90% of Harry Potter requires
Consistently.
everyone to be consistently retarded.
Yes.
Yep. Which is,
Upon discovering you have magic, you actually lose 50 IQ.
True. The consequence of being British.
Indeed.
British.
British?
British?
After
American
the
lizards.
completion of the body, it started to limp around, trying to get used to being a body. Wait, why would it have to get used to being a body? Alex Mercer knows how to work a body.
Because the author's a dumbass.
Well, no
Wording.
shit, but... And then finally it got onto its feet, revealing that it was actually Alex Mercer! Without his hood.
No shit.
Okay? What is the storytelling in this fucking story?
Non-existent.
I'm out, but how? He devoured my mind. What?
I'm back, and I assume I missed nothing of importance.
Alex shouted quietly.
How do you show quietly?
Shouted in a quiet tone.
It's called a stage whisper!
Limping
How he
out
do
of the
that?
rubble his creation had left after a havoc, he was still questioning the power, the virus. It had the potential he did not expect nor studied. What?
This makes no sense.
Why couldn't it do something like defied its own rules?
What?
The forest of an evolved's mind would be consumed and stuck as a memory and mindset in a forest as another's.
What in the goddamn?
Is this
Well-
person on drugs when they wrote this?
What?
I would say it's a machine translation, but that's an insult to machine translation.
So,
Indeed.
Yeah, I don't think a machine translation would have fucked up the spag this hard.
congratulations, Arn.
Hmm.
You win.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Hell yeah. Atin wins as well with 10 points. What an investment.
Oh, wow,
Amazing.
Adam.
Why would I put a bunch of points down on this sure bet? Like, I'm not going to
Because-
get any return no matter what I do.
I mean, still.
Will Sneaky drink the
Big
brown
number.
water? That's not a question.
It's a solution.
Indeed.
This isn't right. Well, whatever happened, hope it would turn out. Hope it will turn out just as I schemed. Ye will see truth so.
What?
You will see truth, so yep.
Whatever you say, sir.
What? Hold
Sure.
on, I'm gonna be right back. I have returned. Now 100% more done with this shit.
Amazing.
Right then.
Truly. A feat no man thought was possible.
Yep.
Some medicine.
Yes, of course. Spicy medicine.
Oh, no, I was more referring to breathing medicine.
Ah. I mean. Fair enough.
The terrorist attacks that Irish warlocks do against the Ministry of Magic. Ah, yes, the IWA.
Hang on, what would they come out, the black and tans, for that one be?
Pretty sure you guys already made that joke last week.
Did we?
No,
We
that,
definitely
that,
made
that,
that joke last week.
that was the Welsh, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, that was the Welsh. Oh shit, that wasn't the. I was like, my brain's like, IWA? We already used that one. I'm like, what do you mean, brain? IWA doesn't exist. Oh, right. The Welsh.
Yeah, that was WRA,
Yes, the WRA.
Welsh Republican Army.
Freedom! Anyway. He then heard grunting. That must be the fella that masturbates all day. From the top of the infested building where he battled Heller, James was about to release his tendrils throughout New York. Well, I might as well take the chances. At the split second the tendrils came out, Alex's stomach backflipped when he booked it.
What?
Yes, I see.
What the fuck?
What is going
This is-
on?
What nationality is this
Hello,
person?
Caesar. You're just
Hang
in
on.
time for this absolute trippy shit show. If you got any acid, I recommend you take it. You're gonna need it.
This person, location Singapore.
Oh, Singapore. That actually makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
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 Much is explained.
But can your Western science explain why the shaman can call lightning?
Yes, actually. It's because his name is Thrall, and he's a badass.
Depends on which version.
Are you comparing orcs to black people, Atin? I will have you know we don't accept such racism here.
Sneaky,
Not
you are
to
the
say
walking
podcast.
embodiment
This
of
is
that
discriminatory
racism.
against the orcs.
True. Core works, dude. Come on.
Look, all I'm saying is Lordaeron wouldn't have all these problems if we just had the filthy greenskins go back through their filthy greenskin portal.
Yeah, we should build a
Did-
wall around the portal and make the orcs pay for it.
They did that, actually. It worked pretty well.
I know.
Base?
Did the portal break?
Yes.
That's why the internment camps existed.
Yeah.
Oh god. Oh fuck.
Wait, is old Blizzard secretly based?
Probably.
I
It
I
would
mean,
seem
I don't
so.
think it's very secret, Sneaky.
Wait, what the fuck? Wait, hold on. Okay, rewind. What the fuck did I just read?
Pain?
Any chances we'll ever see you guys review The Thing? That is the Inquisitor novel by Ian Watson. We can certainly try. I don't typically do non-fanfiction on this podcast. I can probably set aside like a day of Saturday or Sunday in the future and just do a normal book review. But I'm currently going to be moving soon. So
Yeah, he's likely
I mean,
going to
I'd
be
be
off
down to do a
the-
real book review with you.
Oh,
yeah.
that sounds like pain. I'm going to be honest.
Oh,
But,
it's definitely pain.
Sneaky's going to be after this Friday, pretty much off the grid for a solid 2 to 4 weeks.
Possibly, yeah.
Indeed.
About a few.
God, that is going to absolutely murder my YouTube videos. I am so fucking behind already. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really hoping to use this break where Ina and Gura aren't posting to like get through all these fucking backlogs. And then it's like it is every single fucking time, I swear. Every single time they like all start to tone down their video output. And like everyone starts toning down their video output, and I can finally start working on backlogs. Not just VTuber shit, like other news shit, game shit, etc., etc. Videos that I've wanted to watch for a while. Every single time I can start to work on the backlog, something fucking happens, and that backlog just is not getting done.
Yeah.
It's like, god damn it.
Sneaky. You're a user on Steam. You know that backlogs never get finished. They just get bigger.
I'm aware, Max.
Yeah.
I am painfully aware.
I mean.
Sodium vapor. Oh, he's British.
British?
Flame pukes behind false clarosity windows. If stained glass, painted patches of amber ichor, sap, and hemoglobin across the tessellated floor. In case you don't have a dictionary next to you.
No, we know what he's describing.
He's describing the
Like-
floor, a window, and a light source.
It's not that hard to parse
No,
if you know what the words are. But boy, could you do a better job? Like,
Yeah, I'm aware of what he's trying to say, but it really that's just reading like he wrote his book and then just ran it through a thesaurus machine. Anyway, he ran as fast as he could away from the tendrils, but he had seen enough anime to know where this was going. His speed had degraded down to nothing more than the speed of a cheetah. No longer was he a human jet. As more tendrils blocked more possible escape routes, Alex's mind was racing to try and find a helicopter in the area.
why?
What? Ah, yes, I'll just think really hard and spontaneously remember a helicopter in the area. Thank you, TTRPG. They only seem to be crawling all over Manhattan, but not in the sky.
What? What does that even mean?
Alex, if helicopters are crawling on the ground and they're not in the sky, I think those are mimics.
Uh-oh.
Alex, if you're seeing crawling helicopters, I think it might maybe just possibly be time to admit that you're losing your mind because of that virus.
Also, he wrote another book I don't recommend for streaming. It making sense called The Orgasm Machine because Ian wants it.
We don't know who that is, and I'm getting a feeling I don't particularly care to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we'll start a Sunday news segment. We just cover garbage in media, you know.
Listen, if we start covering garbage in media,
Yeah.
boy, can we start with Gundam Wing?
I mean, I was gonna say, Atin can pull up some comics to talk about. Max can do anime, and I'll do video games.
And I'll just be here.
Because,
Pretty
boy, my brother revealed to me a treasure trove of trash.
I imagine.
So apparently at some point, DC and Marvel did actual proper crossover books. So, like, what if we combined Batman with Wolverine?
Oh, you never heard about those till recently?
No, Max, I was perfectly content never knowing about that garbage.
Yeah, but there were a couple I think were like kind of an interesting idea. I think Spider-Man had a really interesting crossover with one of them.
Spider-Man's is
Yeah, the
supposed to be good.
Amalgamation series, right?
Yeah, that's supposed to be the one good one.
Wait, when you say crossover, what do you mean by that?
Like, I mean, it was like a proper combine, put Hero A into Hero B. Like,
It was it was referred to as the Amalgamation. So not a crossover in the traditional sense, but they were literally fusing.
yeah, I'm sorry, they
Yeah,
were fusions, but they were proper, officially licensed.
Basically
whole 9
world
yards.
fusions, yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like that too.
That sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
It was bad.
For fuck's sake, there should be at least one around here, Alex cursed in his mind. When he noticed tendrils in front of his way, Alex had no way out. But there was one thing he could do, and that was pray to God.
But the
She's
question
gonna
is,
become Tanya.
does he know the way?
But with the thought of God coursing through him,
Allah willing.
he
will defeat his
remembered
enemies.
the church.
Oh my god.
Flashbacks
time.
to 22 years ago. Donna Mercer, at 4 months old, was being carried by his brother.
Sure.
Donna's a guy?
Apparently.
I don't like this world.
This world has issues.
Who was 9 years old? No, there's no way they have a 9-year age difference between those two. So anyway, yes, yes, and now we come down to, oh my fucking god.
It was the last of Sneaky Sandy for the night snapping.
I'm drinking more.
Yep, there it goes.
Cheers, bro. I'll drink to that.
He has moved over to the fluid transplant of sanity.
They call it liquid courage.
Indeed.
Like courage, alcoholism. What's the difference?
Close enough.
The
It
amount
helps
that
deal with
Sneaky's
your
drinking
issues.
right
That's
this
all
minute.
that matters.
Anyway.
Like, I ever send you that meme picture I found arguing that alcohol is technically a solution?
No, but I've made that argument before, and you
Yeah,
cringed
no,
at me.
alcohol is an excellent solution, just not to Sneaky's problems.
Anyway, so at the orphanage, they forced them all to go to church, and they learned about the blessings of the Omnipotent One. And so one day, Alex asked his caretaker after his third prayer, why did he create people who would bully him? Why did he make the devil? And why was he being blamed? She responded to him, which he could still not tear out of his mind from the lack of logic, because they were wrong. And he kept up all those pent-up thoughts and curses. Who made things wrong? Why did God make things wrong? Why did he make me poor? Give me back everything,
God hates you.
God, you are the monster. You are the monster who vilified. God made it all happen.
Yes.
This is like some shitty discount Tanya reads Nietzsche.
No, this is like someone from Singapore having some issues with faith. And they were using Alex as a proxy.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
that's what this feels like.
Yeah.
Listen,
Remember
oh boy.
now, Alex? Sigh.
You can rag on God all you want. I'm not gonna stand here and contest your right to do it. But please don't use a garbage self-insert OC to do it.
ASX SMT crossover. Indeed.
That sounds horrible.
That's right. We can't turn a blind eye to this. Then again, if I wasn't an atheist, Alex closed his sight. Embracing the warmth delivered by the Reaper, while still trusting the words in his mind. It was God's fault everything happened.
This is so bad.
Of course.
Then a pale yellow rift appeared in the blue. Opening his eyes, he was choking himself.
Alex,
Um.
can we not hear about your kink?
By the absurdity. Confused to whether he should stop to die by James or die in the singularity, he preferred death by the known to death by the unknown. But inertia made the choice for him and brought him closer. Alex could not stop himself in time and accidentally went into the rift, which then disappeared.
Okay, author. Okay.
Sure, why not?
This is all God's fault!
No gods, no masters.
In the world of Remnant. The rift reopened in the middle of a forest. Alex Mercer came out of it and stumbled onto the grassy soil. After the rift disappeared again, Alex patted himself off the dust.
Why not try
What?
to,
Wait.
jump back through that rift, boy?
Patted
Wait.
himself off of the dust,
Okay then.
Nani?
so he punched himself so hard he fell out of the dust.
Amazing.
I mean, listen. Thanks to Blacklight, he could probably punch himself hard enough to remove all the dust from himself. I don't know why he would, but he probably could.
No. He didn't remove the dust from himself, Alex. He removed himself from the dust.
Oh, yes, I understand. My mistake.
It's like JoJo stand tier shit.
and looked around to find himself stranded in an unknown world. Why do you just assume immediately an unknown world?
Well, because he doesn't know where he is. It's
Because he's racist.
It's not racist enough.
Suddenly, the leaves of the trees rustled, and Alex prepared for anything. Because trees rustled? Wow, what a fucking urbanite, right, Max? You hear a bunch of trees rustle, and you're like, oh man, I'm about to be attacked.
Like, oh boy.
Never had that problem, but okay.
What? No, I'm saying, what an urbanite.
I guess.
Being scared by the sound of trees.
I mean, the Viet Cong.
Listen,
Well, the trees aren't speaking
there's no reason to be
Vietnamese.
worried about the trees until the trees start speaking skink.
Countless Beowulfs jumped out of the trees and landed onto the ground
See?
surrounding...
Beowulfs, not skinks with poison javelins. You have nothing to complain about, you whiner.
Yep.
Surrounding and
Chameleon
trapping
skink.
Mercer. Alex then
cries
put
in
on
dwarf.
his hood. What?
Okay.
Why is that supposed to be dramatic, author? Alex then put on his hood.
Because Sneaky, they're attempting to do the right out of visual medium thing, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
is it dumb? Right? Is the slow hood flip dumb? Yes. But if you do it at the right moment in a visual medium, it can occasionally be cool.
Can being the keyword.
Yeah. It's like the time I flipped my hat in the air and managed to catch it on my head, and then finger gunned at someone.
Based.
It was a fedora, so it was even worse.
Oh god. You just turned cringe, my dude.
It was high school. We were all cringe in high school.
I would say,
True.
listen, everybody's cringy as hell in high school.
Yeah.
Like, you can pretend that you weren't, but everyone knows it's a lie. If you instead just admit, yeah, I was a fucking weeb in high school.
The dust does have a second meaning in Ruby, yes. Yes, dust has a second meaning in Ruby.
Yes, and that meaning is something that crazy people can jab into their arms for superpowers, as long as they have a good pain threshold.
What the, wait,
Yes,
what the
heroin.
fuck? Knew I would not be left alone. Well, now that I lost my powers, what are you, a fucking Metroid hero?
Apparently.
Alex said, checking all of his DNA and noticing it missing. Accept
Yes.
your demise.
I guess we're by DNA, boys.
Don't you
It's
just hate
gone.
it when you get eaten by someone and all your DNA is gone?
Yeah, dude. Happens way too often.
Yeah, right? The
It's just
Beowulf...
so
Like every other
inconvenient when
fucking
all my
Tuesday.
DNA is just
Actually,
out
no,
of me.
no, this is like a serious question here, lads. Like, would the Beowulfs even attack Alex?
Probably not.
Oh, we're gonna.
Well, maybe. He is capable of emotion.
Is he, though? Like, emotion is derived from chemicals. And he doesn't have those chemicals. He kind of just mimics those emotions that he remembers from eating people.
I mean, I think depending on how you take it, you can argue it either way. I would say
Yeah.
the bigger question is, does he possess a soul?
No.
Which, yeah, the answer to that is
No.
no. Certainly not by Remnant standards.
No.
Well, Siki, there's two possibilities.
Yeah.
One, no soul. Number
Yeah.
two, he has the single most powerful aura ever because he's eaten a whole lot of souls.
Yeah, that's honestly the issue with a lot of these stories. So we'll finish up here, then I'll talk about that, because that is actually a topic that we can use for educational purposes. Because that's actually a really important topic when it comes to crossovers. Do the Grimm go after Penny? Yeah, but she has a soul.
artificial nonetheless, but a soul.
But she's a soul, yeah. Like they go after people with souls. Like they apparently don't go after normal animals, supposedly.
They certainly don't bother with the robots, excepting, of course, when the robots are
start shooting them, yeah. So there's definitely at least a threat acknowledgement going on in the Grimm programming, but as
I mean,
far
we've
as,
always known the Grimm are smarter than your average bear, right? Not to use a dumb joke, but they're smarter than your average bear.
yeah, more or less, yeah. So he mutates his arm into a blade and scratches the floor with it, which just cuts a divot in the dirt, I guess. Moments later, Alex began eating a puddle of blood and organs of the Beowulfs, who are,
Okay.
for some reason, solid and have organs and blood.
When was this made?
Things they should have neither of.
I mean, it doesn't matter when it was made, Gray. Even in the Red trailer, yeah, 2015. Even in the Red trailer, it showed Beowulfs disintegrating into ash and dust. Like, at no point in time did it ever show any Grimm ever having, like, organs or DNA. And by eating the Beowulfs, he acquired his claws, because Grimm have DNA. Which, no, they don't. Because by having DNA, you imply you reproduce. And Grimm, at no point in time ever, were ever implied to reproduce. In, like, a sexual way. Or an asexual way. They kind of just form. Like, literally for the longest time, the fandom just assumed that Grimm just spontaneously formed. Not like even out of a Grimm pool or anything. Just Grimm would just form. That's what people thought for a very long time.
Like, there's enough negative emotions, out pops a Grimm.
Basically.
Sounds like Sneaky's origin story.
Yeah, that's actually the truth.
No, regrettably, we know that Sneaky's parents must have engaged in the reproductive process for Sneaky to exist.
I don't
How?
know if I'm okay with that.
How can you tell?
Because doctors have verified that he's a real human being.
What the fuck? Scam? What the David?
Like, so anyway, I missed you both, Alex exclaimed quietly while putting his palms to his face in claw mode. Why is his face in claw mode?
That's mighty concerning, Alex.
Interesting facing right there.
Mercer was then wondered why the rift transported him to this unknown world, but wandered off into forest eating more Grimm, and then found the city of Vale, where his senses tingled. He could hear the crimes. I can
hear the crimes!
Screams, agony, and death over the constant conflict in traffic, the greedy laughter of money, and the lust of the selfless but egotistic at the same time.
You'll never get laughed at by a pair of dollar bills.
The lust of the
porn.
selfless but egotistic. Yeah, man, this author has some fucking issues he needs to work out. Like, this guy clearly has some personal life issues in his life that he's having problems with, and he needs to figure them out.
True, then.
The selfless egotist. It doesn't exist.
I mean, the best I could get to that would be like someone doing acts of philanthropy in order to get noticed.
Or no, tax reasons.
Right, but that's not being selfless.
No, I know, but like I'm saying, like that's like the closest I could get to their whatever the
Yeah,
fuck.
but you understand what I'm saying though, where it's like that's
Yes, that's not an actual thing that exists, but like maybe they don't have the correct verbiage to
not fair.
describe that.
The sonar pulse he sent, it echoed and hushed out everything the untainted city had to offer. Yeah, he just echo pulsed the entire city, the entire mega city, in one pulse,
as you do.
as one does. And he was
And there was
furious.
no one who picked up any of it.
Wait, what the fuck? And he was furious by the infuriating soul race, as in soul, as in like the human soul, that he was once part of. Even so, he could not help with smirk spread across his face. Like I said, I was never wrong to begin with, Alex muttered to himself as he reformed back to his normal arms. So is Alex just a pair of arms now? He took a running start and jumped out of the forest and then into the city.
Yeah, he's been really skipping out on the leg day recently.
Because the city that has to deal with things that fly and jump thousands of feet isn't gonna have some kind of automated or even just a dude in a tower with binoculars. Hey guys, we got a Beowulf jumping over the walls again.
You know, I feel like if you were to properly write Veil, it would be more in lines of like there's a giant fuck off wall, and then you have like like a motorized artillery pieces at like junction points in the wall that would just be able to be like wah, 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 wah. And like the watchtower guy would be like, we got a Beowulf and A1 27 degrees. Boom.
Yeah, we're just like fucking even just like
You
anti-air.
hit it, Jimmy. Dude, like,
like put a
that
fucking
brings a
Tunguska
smile
there.
to my face. Just imagine a Beowulf being hit by a 16-inch shell.
Kaboom.
I mean,
There's
here's the
really
thing,
much
Sneaky.
left.
I much prefer the idea of just like automated flat gun, like, right, like a bunch of Nevermores like fly over the wall.
Well, obviously the flak guns are automated. I'm just saying the artillery pieces you have to call in.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Here's a good gif for that, Atin. Nike chat. Fucking Sea Whiz.
Oh yeah, the Sea Whiz. Yeah, that thing's amazing.
Yeah. Like, oh, target spotted on the radar. Bert. No target spotted on the radar.
Big old bird.
Oh, that's amazing. Hey guys, watch me bend this bullet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I still think one of my favorite moments from PlanetSide 2. I was playing as the NC, and we had like 13 Skyguard Lightnings because the Red faction was being annoying with their mosquitoes. So we just parked ourselves on a low ridge, waited for them to go in for the boys, and then just said, "Aha!"
Yeah. See, now, my first experience with PlanetSide 2 was actually hilarious. So it was my entire dorm floor back in Champlain, freshman year. PlanetSide 2 just came out. We all loaded onto our computers. And we're like, we're all going to play together, spawn into the same faction and everything. So we all load in, and it's like 10 of us in a circle, where we're all like, we all spawned in. One guy was in the mech suit, one guy was with the heavy. I was heavy.
Yeah.
You got a couple of assault people, a sniper, and etc. And we're all just like kind of sitting in this circle, shooting our guns at just buildings and shit. And I'm just like, oh, I have a rocket launcher. Points it up into the air. I wonder what this does. Pulls trigger. Boom. I'm like, oh wow, that's a really cool one. So as we're all looking up, watching this like ball of plasma travel, because we were the purple faction, I believe.
Yep.
This ball of plasma was just traveling in the air. We're all looking at it, and then one of the blue team individual flying craft comes scoring through, rams straight into the missile, it explodes, and we're all just like, did that really just fucking happen?
Oh no, that happens
alright
all the
then.
damn time in PlanetSide. It's great. I think one of my personal favorites was I had someone who couldn't drop a bomb to save their life, Sneaky,
Yeah.
and I was in a Liberator, and I was like, he's like, I need you to get closer so I can drop them. So I was like, fine! So I took the Liberator, so Sneaky, I started terrain following flying with the Liberator. I will tell you, Sneaky, I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
The Vanu did not expect the lightning to come over the hill at eye level.
Yes, that's fair enough. I will say another thing that we did that was really dumb was we got a tank on top of an orca.
Oh god, that stupid bug.
We flew the orca with the tank on top of it over to an area we're trying to take, and then just fucking dip the orca sideways, try to airdrop the tank into the middle of their base.
This sounds like a sneaky maneuver.
It's just a bunch of paratroopers that are just like falling like a rock next to us as this fucking main battle tank.
Yes.
It's
Let's
great.
Go!
Here we go.
PlanetSide 2 was a special treat.
One last memory of PlanetSide 2 I had was the Rolling Thunder Orca Wave, where we were taking this one base, me and my friends, we're all fucking cheering, like, we got deep behind enemy lines, we're taking this base, we wiped out a shit ton of people doing it, and then we just hear, which is the sound of the Orca, by the way. The Orca is the flying mobile battleship transport craft in PlanetSide, for anyone curious. And the horn on it sounds like a fucking whale in distress. And we just hear this going off repetitively, and we're like, that's a really fast horn going off. How many orca are there? And we look up, and there's like fucking 10 above us, and they aren't ours. And we're like, oh, fuck.
That's the classic "I'm in danger" moment right there.
We're in danger.
This has turned into a difficult situation.
And then the sky was filled with players hot dropping in on us, and we're like,
I would say that's one of the greatest moments in PlanetSide 2, when you and your dumbass friends cause enough of a problem that the organized players show up.
Right, and it's like, oh, shit.
Alright, fun's over, boys. Pack it up.
We're fucking running around throwing bombs down the ground. We're like, okay, let's go, let's do this. Firing, just firing into the air, not even aiming. Didn't matter. There's that many people that it didn't matter where we aimed, we were hitting someone.
Oh, yeah, man.
Fucking wall of lead coming back down in response.
Yeah, when you got into big enough battles in that game, there's something special about being in a firing line of mechs for the Terran Republic, and you all just have chain guns.
Yeah.
Or a line of or a line of anti-air. That was fun.
God, that's just nonsense. I will say,
was it the Xanu? Who was the purple guys?
Yeah, purple or Xanu.
Yeah. Wow, I am shocked that I remember that. I remember I got a squad of the melee Xanu together, melee mech Xanu. We got a full squad together where it's like, all right, boys, 3, 2, 1, go, go, go! Just fucking blitz straight at them, like, oh shit.
Oh man, yeah, that's just like, well, I guess I'm not sleeping tonight.
Okay, but
makes it a nightmare fuel.
Sneaky.
A
squad of NC mechs sprinting at you with dual shotguns.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I ended up actually switching over to the NC.
Because
shotgun mechs
Terran
are just
shoot
funny.
fast.
Yeah.
And Xanu have haha funny beam weapon.
Yeah.
But I
Listen.
have a chain shotgun.
I hated playing as Xanu. I felt like I was cheating because the plasma weapons in that game were actually kind of
Oh,
busted.
they were so
at the
fucking
time I
broken.
played.
Yeah. No.
Oh yeah.
There was
They
clearly
were-
it was very much broken down into here are two fun factions depending on if you like shotguns or DACA, and here's the faction you play if you want to win.
Yeah.
No, here's the faction you play if you don't like aiming.
Here's the faction where you use mob tactics. Here's the faction where you win, and here's the faction that does everything else.
Also, if you've never watched the glory of an enemy tank column coming up against an NC tank column and going, we can't kill them, and they're killing us in 2 shots, and then quickly trying to reverse.
We did have a fun moment where we were doing the massive player assault on this one forward base. It was in like the middle of the map. And my uncle's fucking calling me from downstairs.
Go see him.
Can't fucking text me. Or my family.
Your family's something
We
special.
were assaulting this one base, and it was impossible to fucking take. The Xanu had set up fucking shields everywhere, just everywhere, fucking shields, and it was just so frustrating to try and push because every time we tried to push, just everyone would die to this wave of snipers. So we had multiple flight crafts do bombing runs on them, and we're like, all right. And I turn to my roommate and I go, hey, do you think the snipers are dead? And he walks over the crest of the hill and dies instantly, being shot like 3 times in the head. And he turns over to me in real life and goes, no, I think they're fine.
Nice.
There's so much in that game that's wonderful, but you have to have friends to do it.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how it goes. So let's start off with this story then. If you guys want to start us off from talking with this while I go see what my uncle wants.
Oh, dear fucking Christ.
There's the story.
Oh, there it is. What is this?
Probably not good.
Well, I mean, it's
Voldemort's dead.
literally.
Harry, refusing to be a puppet, decides to ditch Western philosophies and manipulation of their heroes. Watch as Harry tries to avoid his nature as a hero. Rating may increase. Well, I mean, as far as the summaries go, credit to the author in that they haven't given away the whole game.
I mean, yeah, it's more impressive than some summaries, certainly. But there's a lot of summaries that are just like, summary, or I'm bad at summaries, so they don't care. Yeah. Also, Voldemort's dead. How did he get the dead?
I mean,
Yeah,
that's a
we
good
may
question,
never know.
Arn. Maybe he just caught the death. Maybe he just gave up.
Maybe he ran from it. Or flew from it, I guess. Would be funny, wouldn't it?
And that, children, is when Voldemort learned that the Muggle invention called a polio shot might have been a good idea.
True. Get vaxxed, kids. Or don't. Who cares?
What the hell is that? I wasn't paying attention. My uncle wanted to tell me that.
Nothing. Damn, you got the burger.
I got a burger.
That sure was nice of him.
It was very nice.
Burger.
Yeah.
I think he
We're
does
just-
to prevent me from eating eggs and rice.
Yeah.
Does he have something against that, or is this just like one of those things like he's just worried about you?
He's just worried about me because I just eat a lot of eggs and rice. And he's like, you really need to stop eating only eggs and rice.
And that's when Sneaky says, then can I have a raise? And then Sneaky got fired.
That's exactly how it went, actually. If anyone cares for the record, when I filed for unemployment.
Yes.
So this is a Harry Potter My Hero Academia story.
Yeah. Pretty much just like Marvel at the summary.
Voldemort's dead. Harry, refusing to be a puppet, decides to ditch Western philosophy.
Harry Potter admits the glory of the Chinese Communist Party.
Sneaky,
Halo
so
glorious
we
leader
were saying
season
before
thing.
you got back,
Yeah.
we were just saying, like, credit to the author, they don't give away the whole game in the plot. So, good for that.
Yeah. There's really much else to credit the author for, so it's about it really.
Good burger. Fret smells.
You got the burger?
And manipulation of their heroes. I will remove myself from Western philosophy. How very niche of you. Watch as Harry tries to avoid being a hero. Rating might increase. Chapters 21, words 50k. So I looked down a little bit, looked down for a microsecond, and I already see something I absolutely loathe.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ignore that for a second. Ignore how this story got 755 people. I'm going to go to the reviews section.
Oh yes. Our favorite place.
What the fuck? What the fuck are these? What are these reviews? These are such cringy reviews. I wonder if Nagat would prostrate herself to being his mistress.
Allah willing.
What?
We shall purge the infidel.
I'm not enthused by this this one reviewer. This one reviewer strikes fear into my soul.
Done.
So we got two review sections to talk about here. So we'll start off with
Oh boy.
chapter 6 from I Just Want to Read Epic Stories. Instead of writing time skip and following it up with a long, disruptive explanation about ages, you could have just written, quote, a few years later. Then started the story with Harry at 22 years old, and Harry asking a tired 21-year-old Fayumi. Something, something, something. See? It doesn't disrupt the flow of the story, and it continues without any laziness. Chapter 8. Why do you put a comma after I and you? That's not where comma should be. It changes the sentence completely. Quote, you, comma, ate grandma. It is focused on you, as in you ate grandma. As in, if you...
What?
Now, to be fair, Grandma's always coming by the house and saying I need to eat more.
That's a bit of an overreaction though, isn't it?
I didn't
putting
ask you.
commas after I and you changes the sentences entirely to mean something completely different than what they should. You have a serious problem with your comma usage. Try using Google, or find an adult, or please go back to school.
Base reviewer.
Based reviewer. Chapter 11. Comma is a stop and breathe sign in the written language. It's also a way to express which meaning
Is
a
this just
sentence
the
has.
one guy?
Yes, this is the
Yep.
same dude.
Yep.
Like my former, either you are eating with grandma, or you have eaten grandma, or you're telling grandma that she is eating. First is describing. First is describing. Second is illegal cannibalism.
True.
And the third is grandma has dementia.
You know, when they're
This-
right, they're right.
Yeah,
This
like
person
to
is
hit him, you
great.
gotta admit, he do be spitting straight facts.
Have you ever tried reading your text out loud? I recommend it. Take the comma as a stop and breathe sign. Without a comma, the mechanical voice will throw up a long string of words, which we humans call word diarrhea. It's exhausting. Now, yours is a sudden stop in a small sentence. Makes no sense. Like this, you criticize, comma, stop, comma, you say stop. Take a breath. Who do I criticize? I don't know. The government. Punch you in the face. What just happened? I'm confused
Face.
by what I just read. It doesn't flow. You criticize the government. Shock, disbelief, horror. Why would you do that? And that's it from that guy, basically. Also, he was correcting him on his Japanese at one point, but doesn't matter. So, then we have the classic guest reviewer response.
Oh.
By seeking justice, the guest reviewer. I haven't actually read anything about this fic, since it sounds stupid. But the reviewer, I just want to read epic stories, is way too harsh on you. Correcting someone is fine, but being an ass about it isn't. No. Just seeking justice. Being an ass about it is what I do. What Just Epic Stories is doing is called constructive criticism. He is actually being helpful and giving examples. See, I merely would tell the author to turn around and face the wall.
I would say, you see,
As he should.
Sneaky knows enough about being a terrible human being to know what good people would do as well.
Indeed.
Ironically enough.
Big true.
Some of his comments were fine, and simple corrections, some of which I agree with. Shoujo is in fact to be used when referring to a young girl instead of shonen. And also, his comments about commas. But he didn't need to be so rude about his comma criticism. He is
It's
such
true.
a dick. Hell, there's probably an error or three in what I just wrote. Do I care? No.
Well, that's because you're a fucking weak ass
That's
bitch.
because, well, A, yes. But B, you are a guest reviewer on a fanfiction story. You're not publishing a pseudo book, which is what fanfiction is. You're writing a comment on it. You don't need, like, this brings up, so I had this discussion, a while back with a person on another Discord server, where they said that why should they take any criticism from me seriously if you constantly misspell words, you as in me, if you constantly misspell words and yada 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 and don't use proper punctuation and whatnot. I'm like, I don't need to use proper punctuation to criticize you and be correct in my criticisms. I'm not the one publishing a story to the internet. You are. I'm just
We say,
commenting.
if
on
you
it.
go ahead and
technically
read
there is,
Sneaky's
or-
actual published works,
Yeah. It's a fair bit more competent than his chat dialogue.
Yeah,
Because, you know,
it's weird.
there are different things. It's weird how that works.
yeah, weird, eh?
What can I say? Fuck cloakers.
I do want to say,
It's supposed to be made by the payday gang.
I loathe people like Seeking Justice here who undermine the efforts of people like I Just Want to Read. Because I Just Want to Read brings up very important English grammar that
Yeah.
it's not like forgetting a comma. It's not like, not putting, like, it's one thing to forget the period at the end of dialogue or etc. etc. But when you do grammar wrong, as in like you not just you missed grammar, you forgot a period here or etc. When you when you put punctuation in and then get it wrong, that drastically changes the meaning of words, especially in languages like English, which is I refer to as the autism of languages, because it's a very precise language. There is very little in English comparatively to other languages like, say, Japanese, where in Japanese, a lot of the words derive their meaning from the words they're also referencing. English is very precise. It derives the subject of words, like saying, I went over and jumped up on the ladder and then grabbed the item off the shelf. All of those are talking about the subject I doing these actions. I don't have to keep saying my name over and over again like in Japanese to imply that I'm doing an action. But
Wow. English is unique in that it's as precise or
right, it's precise about
like,
some things. It's implied about some other things, but it's the punctuation in English is very important because, like, as the joke goes, it's the difference between helping your Uncle Jack off his horse and helping your Uncle Jack off his horse.
No, I know. I'm on record as saying the comma is one of the most powerful punctuations you'll ever use for a very good reason.
So,
I'm curious. If this dude thinks that just want to read is being harsh, what the
Yeah.
fuck would he think of something you write as a review?
I don't know. Let's go check my recent reviews.
Oh boy.
I gotta go take care of something real quick.
Yes.
Let me go bring up my recent reviews.
Good timing, Max.
Review history.
I have to go.
I have to go real quick and be in no part partaking in this story. Yeah, so here we go. Your story is okay, but whomever taught you spag should be executed for gross incompetence. Welcome home, Great Slayer. How it started, 10 out of 10. How it ended, Y out of 10. Izuku the Medusa restart. I hope your English isn't your first language, because holy shit, man, you need help. Psychiatric help, maybe a priest.
Depends, really.
Based Noodle Hammer destroying the libs with facts that don't care about feelings. Turning Point fanfiction.
Turning point FFNet. Let's go.
Oh yes, the making of Mavericks. Ever been tortured until you're gay? Fear not, valiant review reader. The author will show you how it goes. Yes, that was actually a plot point in the story.
Taking lessons from Mike Pence, I see. Except the inverse.
It was a time-traveling Obi-Wan story where he was straight, and the author says he was straight, but then Obi-Wan in the later sections of the story before it ended got captured and tortured by Darth Pelagius. And during the course of this torture, he became homosexual for Commander Cody, the clone, who was also homosexual, because reasons. And they lived happily ever after once Obi-Wan escaped.
I must request you stop saying words.
And part of the reason why Obi-Wan was able to repel Pelagius for so long, despite being tortured day in and day out, was because whenever Pelagius tried to invade his mind, he would just imagine Commander Cody doing strip teases and pole dances for him.
I'm so very upset with this on so many levels.
Yeah, it came really out of left field. Like, I'm gonna be really honest, it came out of left field.
Like, let's ignore the fact that in the books, Obi-Wan almost got himself thrown out of the Jedi Temple because he loved one of his fellow female apprentices.
Mhm.
Let's ignore the fact that we've been shown that you don't have to imagine anything as weird as your friend doing a striptease to keep a Sith Lord out of your head. You can literally do it by playing Pazak against yourself.
I forgot about that.
Now, see, I think one of my personal favorites, someone made a variation of that, Sneaky, where they basically played the ultimate gambling game with a Sith Lord. They created an ironclad mental defense because they made the Sith Lord play an actual game of actual Pazak with them in their head with nobody cheating, and the bet was, I win, you stay out of my head. You lose, well, I lose, I'll let you rummage through whatever you want. And then he just played actual Pazak with them. And just kept winning. And the Sith Lord was like, I try this every fucking day and I can't get in there. Why? It's like, oh, didn't you know? I've won like 6 tournaments.
I'm the galactic champion of Pazak. Fuck, in 3 systems.
It's that fucking meme. It's that fucking Russian kid meme. You know the one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Dmitri, you are an excellent chess player. And compared to you, I am merely a show host. And so I thought I would bring in someone more on your level, 7-time world champion. Like, are you fucking
Fucking Gary Kasparov walks in.
This was something interesting to walk back to.
But just, the whole thing's dumb. The whole thing's dumb. But, like, there are so many other ways to keep a Sith Lord out of your mind. Literally, if you just played the song Friday on a loop, you could probably keep most Sith Lords out of your head.
Hell yeah.
Or bonus points. You have a drinking contest with them.
Wait, are Jedi allowed to do this? I don't know. Master Yoda's never complained.
Square up, dog.
Alright, Sneaky.
Yeah.
What are the odds that Master Yoda absolutely knows how to handle his liquor?
I mean, he was a
That's
hermit.
a fool's bet.
Yeah, he was a fucking hermit, dude. Like, what else was he gonna do on a planet alone?
I don't know. Smoke tree spiders?
Yeah, smoke and get drunk. What
yes, of course,
what
I
the
forgot.
movie didn't show was Yoda constantly guiding Luke away from his pot fields and liquor.
Find my stash, he does. Share, I have to.
So, other amazing reviews from me. Why the hell would you use objectively the worst version of Dante? A version of Dante that was so bad, the man who created Dante begged the developer to let him work on the property again so he could erase that version of Dante. At no point in time.
You know, I forgot that's why we got DMC5.
Yes. Well, it's also why we got DMC3. At no point in time during this farcical attempt at storytelling did I not want to commit Sudoku, as your ability to tell a story and your ability to grammatically do so is so withered, so atrophied, that I fear even reading this review might strain your brain far too much. And so I apologize for any sort of mental strain this review has inflicted upon you. So yeah, that's a normal review from the Sneaky here. I read fanfiction. I read epic stories. I make him look fucking peachy in comparison. So just remember, Listen to I Just Want to Read Epic Stories. Otherwise, you're going to get people like me. So, I do want to talk about, before we start this story, I do want to talk about, because I got reminded by that review, crossovers. Specifically, powers that exist in one story but not the other. So, specifically, like, say, a Devil May Cry story, where, in this random example, Nero ends up in Bleach.
Well, why?
Fighting Hollows. Because a time horse sent him to a different world.
Oh yes, of course.
Ah,
Silly me.
yes. How
time horse.
normal.
How could I forget?
Yes, the time horse. Which is actually a canon enemy, by the way. In DMC.
Don't doubt it.
It's how Dante unlocks Quicksilver.
Yeah, that's true. Time Horse is canon.
Yeah. So the time horse, while attached to a diesel generator, manages to gather enough time power to send Nero into the Bleach universe.
Hmm.
Which
Hmm.
I don't understand either, but okay. Work with what you're given, I guess, and whatever. Now, the key part here is that it's narrow and that it's before DMC5. So this is Nero, who is constantly being called a deadweight and being treated like a baby by the entire team.
Of course.
So he ends up in Karakura Town, miraculously. And he ends up there during the Hollow Bait sub-arc, where Ishida first confronts Ichigo and uses Hollow Bait to cause the first Menos Grande to show up during a hollow killing competition.
Yeah, that moment. What a
Yes.
great introduction to a character. I'm gonna put the entire town at risk.
Yes.
Because I'm a whiny baby child.
Yes. So Nero shows up and handily kills a bunch of hollows because
Now, I mean, look, I'll grant you, your average hollow compared to the stuff that Nero had to fight, even in just
Yeah.
DMC4,
yeah.
not a problem.
Yeah. So the story goes on to the author reiterates multiple times throughout the chapters that I was reading that Nero is not going, quote, not going to be OP, quote, and quote, will struggle against captain level enemies, end quote. And that also, quote, the reason why he gave Nero Dante's movesets was because in the video games, Nero only has access to a very limited range of powers, and that would make him easily beaten by the captains. So he wanted to give Nero all of Dante's movesets.
Okay, that's completely missing the point of Nero having a separate move. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, listen. I enjoyed the shit out of DMC5. I enjoyed having Nero as my default character action moveset
Yeah.
because Dante's confusing as shit.
Dante's fun though.
Well, I would say the reason Dante is confusing is because Dante is there for the people who have been playing DMC for forever,
Since the first one.
and they're like, okay, but I want to have all the cool stuff.
Because Dante is literally the guy that's so powerful that he can in fact just style on you without a sweat.
Yes.
Dante is the reason the style meter exists. Nero finally gets there in DMC5, and while I don't want to say that Virgil is cool, given that he is on an equal level of power as Dante, he is also capable of styling on you without breaking a sweat.
Yes. So the thing is here,
He has
it gets worse.
he like Dante gets a joke. Dante gets a weapon designed to get him more money because he can do that. Nero can just create magic little floating swords to stab you because you're not worth his time.
Virgil, you mean?
Virgil, sorry.
Yeah.
Now, when Nero gets his murder hand back, then he's a problem.
Yeah. So, to make this worse, the author has Yorichi recruit
Holy
Nero
shit.
to assist in saving Rukia after she's kidnapped. Because Yorichi spotted Nero killing the Hollows during the Hollow Break event and was like, wow, this kid's strong, let's recruit him. And they're like, oh, he's clearly around lieutenant strength. And the author makes multiple mentions of how Nero has a very underdeveloped spiritual soul, and that he's not even using it at all when he fights. But he's still very strong, and etc., etc., etc. And so Nero, the one who has been made fun of for being weak, for being a deadweight, for being the baby of the group, etc., etc., is offered by Yorichi, who, after a spar with him in full body, full contact, trying to kick each other's asses as best as possible, Yorichi says, hey, you're really good, you're really skilled, you're really strong as you are right now, but you're not using any spiritual power to make yourself stronger. How about I teach you how to use spiritual power? And Nero goes, quote, no, I don't want to learn spiritual power. I'm strong enough already. End quote. Quote, I won't be here long, so there's no point in learning how to unlock my spiritual power.
That's hilariously against literally anything near.
I'm pretty sure Nero would be totally up for that.
As long as he doesn't have to like eat someone innocent, Nero will do pretty much anything to get stronger because he very decidedly wants to kick Dante's ass. Not because he doesn't like Dante, but because in the weirdest, creepiest way, he very much looks up to Dante.
I mean, let's be real here. If Dante was real, everyone would look up to Dante.
I mean, look, he's not real and I look up to Dante.
That's fair.
Understandable.
I've never heard Dante speak.
You don't need to.
Then you are missing out on some fantastic voice acting.
Yeah, but he is.
I know I
pretty
am.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just haven't sit down and listened to anything.
He's
dude,
like,
the cutscenes are like 8 hours in total for the first 4 games.
look,
Yeah.
And there's no
You're
there's no
hot
story that
and all.
occurs in between them.
Look, you're hot and all, and I don't want to kill you, but can you move?
Look, all I'm gonna say is there's a single cutscene that most fully encapsulates Dante.
Oh, is that the Michael Jackson dance?
No,
Um.
it's the heart scene.
Oh yes, yes, yeah. Indeed, yep. So anyway, that's why I want to talk about crossovers when it comes to powers that exist in one universe but not the other. Because even with even with magic, you usually can get away with just saying, oh, they use different formulas. They approach magic from a different way, but it's still cross compatible, right? But when it's stuff that deals with the soul with a universe that doesn't have soul in it, you kind of gotta really tread carefully. Because then you have the issues of, why haven't they discovered this before? Especially a world like DMC, where it's like, people eating souls and shit all the fucking time, and at no point in time did
Yeah.
anyone ever discover they have Ryoku that could just make humans into superhumans.
Yeah, Gray, I've
Yeah.
I've timestamped it. You just watch from the timestamp to the end of the video to acquire all the knowledge you need of Dante.
Alright.
Oh no. Oh yeah, this one.
Is it-
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's everything you need to know about the man.
In the end, we're all satisfied. You are set free.
Fucking dumb.
I love how much fun. I love how much fun the creator had with DMC.
And don't look
Like,
so big
that's the
for
thing.
it,
comes
The
through.
creator is having so much. The reason Dante works is because the creator is having so much fun making Dante have so much fun. Like, the amount of, like, the energy that you can tell is being put into the game and that the voice actor's giving to Dante and channeling, it works. It works solely because there's just a stupid enough level of writing and a voice actor who knows just how to take it there.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, Dante is an absolutely great character, especially in fan fiction to read when they do him right, obviously, because just putting him into other scenarios, like Dante is now in Ruby, and he's just like, "Fuck it, okay, let's go."
So you guys fight for your lives on a daily basis, huh? Against these creatures that just spawn out of
Random.
nowhere. Yeah. I'm in.
And you get paid for this. Yes. Woohoo! Easy money.
It is because his business, while failing, still technically has existed for like what 15 plus years. By the
Oh,
time
yeah.
DMC5 rolls around, like
Yeah.
there's enough shit going down for his business to still get ads.
I remember one story specifically. It was actually pretty good. Dante and Virgil. It was post DMC5. Dante and Virgil working together to kill the tree, and the tree dies. It screams. And as they try to leap back to Earth, Dante gets shafted by the randomness by the RNG gods, and it ends up in Ruby. And at one point, he's just like he joins up with the school as a janitor, a well-paid janitor at Beacon.
I'm so happy.
And,
So glad that's what happened.
and shit goes down at one point, and he's been making friends with Glinda this whole time, and shit finally goes down. And Ozpin, alienates him because Ozpin is being written as Canon Ozpin, who is like this super secret fucking retard, right?
Oh yeah,
And-
we're going with the.
By the way,
Yeah.
I appreciate
God.
how there's two different interpretations to what Sneaky said. Both of them are very accurate to Ozpin, no
Oh.
matter
Yes.
which way you interpret that statement.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have this? Do you have the name lying around anywhere?
Yeah, I can pull it up in a second. But he alienates Dante, and Dante's like, "Okay, bye." And Ozpin's like, "Wait, what? Don't you want your job?" "No, I'm good. I have plenty of money from what you just paid me already, and I've been doing a bunch of missions on the side, so I could basically start my own business again.
Based.
Bye." He's like, "Wait, hold on." He's like,
No!
Bye."
What do you mean you've been doing missions?
I absolutely need you to link this now.
And then
I
Glinda's
need
like,
this.
"No, wait, Dante. Don't leave. Without me." Fuck you, Ozpin. It's actually a great story.
There's a commandant dinosaur. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'll link it after this. But so let's get to the Thunder Hero, Barack Wheel. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly.
I'm gonna go
Barack.
eat my Chick-fil-A while it's still warm.
Yeah.
Barack Wheel Obama.
So let's start off with the cringiest part of this author's note, and the part of the author's note that doesn't belong in this story at all. There will be no Harry Potter magic in this story.
Well, I mean, alright. GG.
Why are you writing a
writing it
Harry
then?
Potter crossover then? There is
Yeah,
there is literally nothing unique, good, or memorable about the Harry Potter universe without the magic in it. Like, you
Big true.
remove the literal magic from the Harry Potter universe, and it is the most boring fucking story in existence.
Yeah.
It's like, one night, this terrorist in Britain went to
Brilliant.
kill my parents. And the AK he used killed both my parents, and then when he pointed it at me, the AK backfired, shrapnel right into his
Oh.
eye, he died.
Wait, Sneaky, it makes sense. He was using fucking
The Chinese AK.
no, the bootleg, well, not bootleg ammo, the fucking booby trapped ammo they dropped
Oh.
over Vietnam.
Yes, of course, yeah, he was using some... He had to reload, and that magazine happened to be the booby-trapped ammo.
Or just, it was a booby trap bullet. So our
Yeah,
president
he
fucking
bought it
killed
in
him.
surplus, you know? He got really
Yeah.
good prices on it.
should have known better.
And it backfired. Shrapnel right in his eye, killed him. We didn't have a terrorist problem after that. They all kind of shattered and got rounded up by the government. And then I grew up with my family over in Little Wingsy, and then that's about it. Story over.
Yeah, GG. Probably be more interesting, to be honest.
Like, that's without the magic, Voldemort's not immortal. Without the magic, Hogwarts doesn't exist. Without the magic, there's no reason for Harry to go off to this secretive college, private school. Without magic, there's no, like, discrimination against Harry. Like, yeah, sure, maybe Petunia might be a bit disgruntled that a baby was just left on her doorstep. But it's like, yo, hey, your sister died. This is her son. Please take her in. Please take him in, and she'll be like, ugh, fine. Like,
Actually, it seems like there's every chance that she would have gotten along better if it hadn't been for the whole magic thing.
No, literally, that's
Yeah,
what I was getting at. Is
far
like,
better.
there would be no freakishness to beat out of him. There'd be nothing to, like, or being forced by this weird wizard dude, and like nothing like that. Just like, oh yeah, this is your sister's son. We should take care of him. And that's it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. And then Harry grows up, maybe a bit of a maladjusted child because the Dursleys weren't the best parents, but you know, nothing like canon. And then he goes to school, and then he goes to college, and then he gets a decent job, and then he gets accused of sexual assault by a woman, and he goes in jail.
Yeah.
So not really
That's
much to
happens a
write
bit.
about.
I guess they're accused of a hate crime for it.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where this author's going. There's no magic. It's a Harry Potter crossover, but there's no magic, so it's like there's no Harry Potter crossover. Like, I'm not really sure how you're gonna like square this. And not only that, so it's a Harry Potter story that's taking place 200 years after the original events of Harry Potter. With everything moved forward, I'm assuming Voldemort's gonna be a quirkist or some shit. Or maybe he's a quirkless. Who knows?
Quirk terrorist.
Quirkless terrorist or something, yeah. So it's just I'm not really sure.
Quirk supremacist.
I'm not, yeah, like I said, it could go either way. But I'm not really
Yeah.
sure what's going on here that makes me interested in reading this story. If this is a Harry Potter that isn't from Harry Potter, doesn't have Harry Potter magic, acts nothing like Harry Potter, doesn't have Harry Potter's history, and it's just like, oh, this is basically an original character that looks like Harry Potter called Harry Potter. It shares literally nothing but surface cosmetics with Harry Potter. And your story is supposed to interest me how? Like,
Guess you're just supposed to sell yourself on it somehow.
yeah, thanks to the incredible writers, son of Caliban, to whom I say, repent for tomorrow you die.
Oh no, it's a
I
Californian Taliban.
Indeed. I joke, of course, but I'm more of a sanguineous guy myself. I recommend you read his story, From Joy Comes Pain, From Pain Comes Joy. Another writer I wish to credit is the writer Darkfire1220, the writer of Viridescent. Probably one of the worst pure My Hero Academia stories I've ever read that was grammatically correct. Like, concerning Spag and concerning the technical qualities of the writing, Viridescent is a great story. The narrative is garbage. The narrative is literally, what if Izuku had a quirk that gave him green phoenix fire? And then, like, he literally can do everything with it. Like, he can like, come back to life with it. He can, like, you know, do All Might tier punches with it. He can amplify his body's base stats with it. He can, like, spew fire, and, like, he's the son of One for All as well. And despite all of this, right, canon still happens exactly as canon.
Oh yeah, of course.
Of course it does.
Why wouldn't it?
Like, nothing changes. Yeah, sure, he writes really big fights. Yeah, sure, all this other stuff happens, as in, like, an explanation as to why canon still happens, but canon still happens. Literally every point of canon still happens. Nothing changes in his story. Despite Izuku having a completely different background, despite Izuku having completely different powers, despite Izuku having completely different everything, canon still happens.
The show must go on.
Just at that point, what the fuck are you even doing? So, anyway. Let's get started with this garbage ass story. Harry, comma, sighed and slumped to the ground with a mixture of blood, sweat, tears, along with dirt and grime kicking his body. So the... Wait, hold on. Harry, comma, why is there a comma after Harry? Harry didn't do anything. It's just Harry. Slumped to the ground. Like, bro, what? Yeah, I see what Epic Reader was talking about now. With this dude's just completely random commas that don't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
And it sighed and slumped to the ground with a mixture of blood, sweat, tears, along with dirt and grime caking his body. See, that's just, like, really extended. Just that sentence, you can't really even reword that. It's just, like, to make it sound better. You're gonna need to rework the whole sentence, because that's just weird. The occasional spark of lightning flashing across his body, comma. Why is there a comma there? Illuminating his skinny and wiry frame. Harry snorted as he looked at the frozen and charred form of the leeching villain, Voldemort.
Bro.
A snake-faced man possessed by a life-leeching quirk and had been responsible for nearly 3 decades of villainous behavior. And his sycophantic Death Eaters were a mixture of people with seductively subtle and/or loud. And/or loud? They were subtle and/or loud.
And or depending.
What?
Okay then.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like a dual purpose build. They can either be sneaky like, or they can be loud.
Right, but my problem here is either you're subtle or you're loud. You're not both. Because and/or means some of them are subtle and loud, some of them are subtle, and some of them are loud.
Yep.
But you can't be like that's literally orc levels of screaming the words, "I am sneaking right now, don't pay attention to me," and it working.
Tell that to one of my payday builds.
Payday is broken. Fuck off.
I mean, yes, and I love it. It's great.
A loud and proud
It's so
quirks,
many
or
things
even
wrong.
successful survivors of quirk splicing, a dangerous technique with dangerous outcomes. Harry, in the meantime, inherited a legacy quirk. It was a stockpile quirk that had merged with his humble lightning quirk. But as it was transferred throughout his family, gaining power, it was once known as the lightning quirk, known as... Arn, are you ready for this?
Hell yeah.
Allspark.
Oh, so now we're just gonna dip into Transformers, I see.
Oh, I was also talking about Toho.
Yeah.
That's
Kid
in
Minogue.
Toho as well, huh?
It's basically a giant
Monster
fuck
Park.
off of death, yeah.
Yeah.
Giant death beam.
Hmm.
Yeah. Good old Master Park.
Harry,
Sounds
even
fun.
wielding a fraction of Allspark, would become a powerful hero. However, Lily Potter, wielder of a alternating quirk called ionization, integrated her power into James Potter, and Harry, as a result, not only was able to influence lightning, but fire and ice.
Yeah.
What would ionization have anything to do with fire and ice?
Good question.
Right, so Harry Potter, with the power of all for one, one for all? Yeah, one for all, except instead of muscle mass, it's lightning, and fire, and ice. Okay. This is already really fucking dumb. So I would be okay with if you had written this to like, remove the Harry Potter bullshit from this. Instead, go with something along the more the lines of don't make it a stockpiling quirk. As much as that should be possible for two stockpiling quirks to exist in the world, it's too mainstream. It's too mainline critical to the backbone plot of My Hero Academia that you can't, as a fan fiction writer, just give it to your OC and have it be like, yeah, clearly, guys, I'm not making my OC, ridiculously OP for no reason.
Yes. of
What
course.
would make more sense is if you wanted to do this, you could do, James had a lightning quirk, and Lily had a ion-related quirk, and they were married together with a quirk marriage, and they produced OC Child, who inherited both the ion quirk and the lightning quirk, and together it made them an even more powerful lightning user who was able to control where all of their lightning struck instead of just being an electrical field like Denki was, right? So he was actually able to shoot bolts of lightning at people because of these combined quirks. And then you could just have him using the power of science to figure out how to make his quirk better and just make him, sure, you can ultimately make him as strong as All Might, but with lightning instead. And people would still accept it because you showed them improving along the whole lines, and how they started out wasn't even that strong.
Yeah.
But instead, Harry is
Instead,
OP
you can
to
get
start
fucked.
with. Yeah, instead, get fucked. So, his best friend Hermione Granger, quirk, eidetic memory, allowed her to memorize everything. Ron Weasley, quirk, tactician, allowed him to view the world as a chessboard.
I'm sorry. Hermione got kind of gypped on quirks there because that's just a normal thing that occurs in people from time to time.
It's also something you can train yourself if you work really hard. But yeah, it's just... Sorry, Hermione, you got the shit stick again. How are you holding
No
up?
one had
It's
the heart.
done.
No one has the heart to tell her she's actually quirkless. That's what it is.
Her IQ is actually just so high that people were just like, it's clearly a quirk. Minister of Heroics as well. Minister of Heroics. Well, fucking Jesus Christ. Since we didn't complete hero training, we're probably all being sent to jail for stopping Voldemort. Blah 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 blah. Fuck the minister. Blah 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 blah. It's over, Potter. Blah blah. Former hero with the skill called Transfiguration, and which allowed him to turn into a cat.
Of course.
That's so useful. Right now.
Amazing.
Frozen and burnt him for good measure. With a high understanding of how electricity and lightning work at a molecular level, allowing me a limited degree of pyrokinesis and cryokinesis. Electricity does not do I guess you could say electricity does do pyrokinesis, but that's sort of
Yeah,
like...
it is. It's plasma in that vein, but
Right, but that's like
that's still
saying
stretching.
I pumped enough electricity in him to set him on fire, therefore I'm a firebender, is just blatantly not true. Anything's going to catch on fire if you shove enough energy into it.
Yes.
That's just the reality of life. Of existence. Energy equals fire, no energy equals cold.
Yeah. Well, sort of. Energy equals heat, which in many cases equals fire. Not all.
Well, as my father says, anything will burn if the fire's hot enough.
Yes.
I thought that was just
That
the
is-
family motto.
I mean, true. Yeah, that is true, but not necessarily, like... You can have heat without fire.
Yeah, I suppose.
The sun, for example, which technically is not on fire.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose. It's kind of on fire.
Yeah. Well, kinda, but also not really.
Anyway, McGonagall was dumbstruck. Hadrian James Potter. I'm gonna shoot myself in the throat. By the way, Harry is just openly the heir to a legacy quirk. Like, apparently, it's just everyone knows that Harry inherited this quirk. It's the thing. Ever since the time of the Dragon Heroes.
That's not something I would be advertising for my
Yeah.
family.
Cringe, cringe. What are you doing, Harry? I'm walking away. Cringe, cringe. Harry Potter. Everyone's gonna hate you. Cringe, cringe. Blah blah blah. Cringe, blah. Cringe, cringe. Blah blah blah. Cringe, blah. Cringe, blah. Hostages. Blah 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 blah. Cringe, blah blah. Yeah. Okay. Look, honestly, I couldn't be fucking asked to read this garbage.
Yeah,
So I'm just gonna leave a review and then we're gonna end it for the night.
sure.
So, not sure why you went with a Harry Potter MHA cross when effectively Harry Potter and the entire universe in every way that matters doesn't exist at all. This is not a crossover. This is a story in which you use the flimsiest of excuses to create a OC, probably self-insert, and make it wear the skin of Harry Potter so people click on it. The fact that 700 some people were not capable of realizing this makes me worried for the future of the human species. Alright, that's about all I need to say.
Damn. I think fucking Grammarly is having a stroke.
And now it's not. Thanks, Grammarly.
Very cool.
Post review.
You existed.
And that's why I use Grammarly. Now, Grammarly, I can always advertise for you.
They're not gonna want to touch you with a 10-foot fucking pole, and you know it.
I don't know, man. They might. You never know. Next stream might be sponsored by Grammarly. You never know. Now, speaking of next stream will be happening. It'll be on Friday. I should be getting all my stuff in on Friday. I'll start packing up on Saturday and heading out. And then from there on, I'll be traveling for about a week or two. And hopefully, within those 2 weeks, I will be able to discover a place to live from then on. But,
Here's hoping.
Hmm?
Here's hoping.
Yeah, here's hoping. Yeah. Also win the lottery. Might as well buy a lottery ticket while I'm driving out there.
You might as well.
But that's all I have to say tonight. So we'll see you on Friday because there is, unfortunately, always more and it always gets worse.